When my wife, Sarah, sat me down one evening, I could sense something was off. Her hands trembled slightly as she avoided my gaze. I thought she was nervous about something minor, maybe finances or work stress. But then, with a deep breath, she looked me in the eyes and said the words that would change everything: "I'm in love with someone else." For a moment, I just sat there, numb. It was like the world around me had stopped spinning. I didn't shout, didn't cry. Instead, I smiled, not out of joy, but from a strange calm that washed over me. "Perfect," I said quietly. Sarah's eyebrows furrowed in confusion. She probably expected anger or heartbreak, but instead, I stood up, walked to the kitchen, and poured myself a glass of water. That single word, perfect, seemed to echo in the room, leaving her completely speechless. For years, I had been the one trying to fix things between us. I had ignored the late-night texts she quickly hid, the sudden girls' trips, and the coldness that crept into her tone. Deep down, I knew something was wrong. Her confession didn't destroy me, it simply confirmed what I had already suspected. And in a strange way, it set me free. Sarah tried to explain herself, fumbling with excuses about how it just happened, and how she didn't mean to hurt me. But I wasn't listening anymore. I calmly told her to take whatever she needed and go to whoever she thought she loved. That night, I packed her bags, set them by the door, and went to bed without another word. She left quietly, not realizing that walking out was the best gift she could have given me. The next few weeks were oddly peaceful. The silence in the house no longer felt empty, it felt clean. I started focusing on my work, my health, and reconnecting with friends I had neglected. My world, once centered around her moods and lies, finally revolved around me again. Then, about a month later, she showed up at my door. Her eyes were red, and she looked nothing like the confident woman who had left. She asked if we could talk. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She started crying before she even sat down. "It was all a mistake," she said between sobs. "He wasn't who I thought he was. I don't love him. I still love you." I watched her carefully, trying to decide if her tears were real or just another performance. Part of me wanted to believe her. After all, we had shared years together. But another part of me remembered the sleepless nights, the doubt, and the pain. "You said you were in love with someone else," I reminded her. Now suddenly, it was all a lie. She nodded frantically, saying she'd been confused, manipulated, and scared. She wanted me to believe that what she said before wasn't real, just a phase she went through. But the calm I felt that night returned. I told her gently, "Sarah, it doesn't matter anymore. Whether it was real or not, you showed me who you truly are." Her face went pale. She tried to reach for my hand, but I stepped back. I explained that I had already moved on emotionally. I wasn't interested in rebuilding something that had already crumbled. Love, once broken by betrayal, doesn't return the same. It becomes a shadow, something that looks familiar but no longer feels right. She began begging then, saying she'd do anything, go to counseling, start over. But her desperation didn't move me. It only made me realize how much peace I had found without her chaos. I told her she deserved to find her own path, but it couldn't include me anymore. After she left, I stood by the window and watched her walk down the street, just as she had weeks earlier. But this time, there was no sadness, no anger, just closure. She had made her choice, and I had finally made mine. In the following months, I rebuilt everything she had broken, not by replacing her, but by rediscovering myself. I traveled, took up new hobbies, and even smiled genuinely again. Sometimes, the most painful endings lead to the most peaceful beginnings. Sarah tried reaching out a few more times, but I never replied. I had no hatred left, only gratitude that her confession forced me to wake up from a long illusion. She thought she had destroyed me, but in truth, she freed me from a love that had already died. Now, when people ask if I ever regret letting her go, I simply say, not at all. Because when she said, "I'm in love with someone else," and I answered, "Perfect," I didn't lose a wife, I gained back my life.